last night, under the cover of darkness, he submitted a statement where he made it clear, his words, it's clear that my leadership has become a distraction to the important work the NFLPA advances every day. Well, we knew this. July 10th, 2025, wait to see. We told you Lloyd Howell will lose his job with the NFLPA. It wasn't even a question. Pablo Torre, if Pablo Torre finds out, started this train. He's not responsible for Lloyd Howell's resignation. Mike Florio is not responsible. The ESPN reporter Don Van Natta, not responsible. All of the reporters / insiders / not journalists who are now interested in the story, not responsible. There is only one person responsible for the firing, resignation of Lloyd Howell, and that's Lloyd Howell. The hubris that people in that position have when stories are disappeared and then somehow, some way, there's a leak. Someone decides, oh, I think I'm going to turn over this document to Pablo Torre. A 61-page arbitration decision where there was collusion between the NFL and the NFLPA to quash it. Don't tell anyone that there may have been collusion, but there wasn't. Don't tell the players. Lloyd Howell being paid money to be an advisor to the Carlyle Group. Keep it quiet. Let's not discuss it. Your job as the boss of anything is to lead your employees, not into the wall. It's to lead them into the open, into the expanse. Your job is to make progress for your employees because that is how you make progress. Your job is to put them in the best possible position to succeed because that's your success. There is supposed to be an alignment of interest. When you are a union director, the head of a union, your job is to represent those players, those union members, regardless of what their job is. Football players, this makes no difference. If Lloyd Howell had been the head of the traffic cop union, he would have lost his job as well. Because when Pablo Torre decides that he's going to be a journalist and that he's going to ask questions, and then there's crickets. Explain that to me, all of the insiders and everybody now who has great interest in this story, when before, after Pablo's story, everyone said the same thing. This is nothing. Nothing to see here. We all knew this. It's all good. And then it started to unravel right before your very eyes when I followed up and said, nothing to see here. This is it. It's done. He's finished. And then you get the dreaded vote of confidence from the player management committee, the player executive committee, the player committee, where they say, we're good here. He's got our support. We're going to look into him, though. Remember that? Nothing personal from this week, which you can find on davidsamsonpodcast.com. Remember when we said, hold on, you can't both say that everything's fine, but then we're investigating. We'll let you know what we find. That's the biggest bunch of horse hockey of the week. It's bigger than Lloyd Howell tendering a resignation letter. That's second place in the horse hockey award of the week. The reason why the players had to get his resignation right now, and the reason they had to let him go right now. So, by the way, mechanically how this would happen is that you go to the union director and you say that if we took a vote right now, you're going to be terminated. Is there anything potentially you want to do that would stop us from taking a vote? Because if you resign, there's nothing to vote on other than naming an interim director. So let me know in about 12 minutes what your plan is, because shockingly, we have a Zoom scheduled for about 9 a.m. this morning. Lloyd Howell says, here's the idea. He wrote 2 years ago, I accepted the role of executive director of the NFLPA because I believe deeply in the mission of this union and the power of collective action to drive positive change for the players of America's most popular sport. Our members deserve a union that will fight relentlessly for their health, safety, financial futures, and long-term well-being. My priority has been to lead that fight by serving this union with focus and dedication. Whoa. I would prefer he had just said, I resigned. He's continued by saying it's clear that my leadership has become a distraction, word of the day, to the important work the NFLPA advances every day. For this reason, I have informed, the NFLPA Executive Committee that I'm stepping down as ED of the NFLPA and chairman of the board of NFL players effective immediately. I hope this will allow the PA to maintain its focus on its player members ahead of the upcoming season, because training camp people have reported already. I am proud of what we've been able to accomplish at the NFLPA over the past 2 years. I will be rooting for the players from the sidelines as loud as ever. I got to stop right there, Coca. As loud as ever? You mean as loud as documents that you quash so no one can see them? Because that sounds very, very quiet. It sounds super quiet, not as loud as ever. But we appreciate that now that you're gone, you're going to root for the home players. If they read documents, I'll die. Because it's hide everything and hope Pablo doesn't have a show. It's not that I'm down on anybody exactly. It's that people don't seem to understand how business works. The way it happens to be is that you do what you think is right when you're in charge, except sometimes you're wrong. And the reason that you are forced to resign or get fired is when you do something that ends up wrong that you knew was wrong to start with. You rarely get fired for doing something wrong when A, you had the right intentions, B, it was communicated properly, C, it was decided with you and with people around you, and it just didn't work out. That is very common. But when you make a decision as a leader that is done in a vacuum, in a silo, you don't tell anyone about it, you don't get the proper permission, and then it turns out wrong, you're going to lose your job. It is not a good plan when you are in charge of what is ostensibly a public union to hide things from the union, and then when word gets out about what you've hidden, to contort yourself in a way that would make Barnum and Bailey hire you. And what Lloyd Howell has been doing since the Pablo Torre episode has been what I would call damage control, except his version of damage control has created way more damage. We talk about putting a tourniquet on a story. He didn't tourniquet this story. He let it bleed out.